तेरी लीला सबसे है न्यारी न्यारी, हरी हरी। तेरी लीला सबसे है न्यारी न्यारी, हरी हरी। भजमन नारायण नारायण, हरि हरि। जय जय नारायण नारायण, हरि हरि। श्रीमन नारायण नारायण, हरि हरि। श्रीमन नारायण नारायण, हरि हरि। तेरी लीला सबसे है न्यारी न्यारी, हरि हरि। तेरी लीला सबसे है न्यारी न्यारी, हरि हरि। भजमन नारायण नारायण, हरि हरि। जय जय नारायण नारायण, हरि हरि। श्रीमन नारायण नारायण, हरि हरि। श्रीमन नारायण नारायण, हरि हरि। तेरी लीला सबसे है न्यारी न्यारी, हरि हरि। तेरी लीला सबसे है न्यारी न्यारी, हरि हरि। भजमन नारायण नारायण, हरि हरि। जय जय नारायण नारायण, हरि हरि। श्रीमन नारायण नारायण, हरि हरि। श्रीमन नारायण नारायण, हरि हरि। तेरी लीला सबसे है न्यारी न्यारी, हरि हरि। तेरी लीला सबसे है न्यारी न्यारी, हरि हरि। भजमन नारायण नारायण, हरि हरि। जय जय नारायण नारायण, हरि हरि। श्रीमन नारायण नारायण, हरि हरि। श्रीमन्नारायण नारायण हरि हरि। तेरी लीला सबसे है न्यारी न्यारी हरि हरि। तेरी लीला सबसे है न्यारी न्यारी हरि हरि। भज मन नारायण नारायण हरि हरि। जय जय नारायण नारायण हरि हरि। श्रीमन्नारायण नारायण हरि हरि। श्रीमन्नारायण नारायण हरि हरि। तेरी लीला सबसे है न्यारी न्यारी हरि हरि। तेरी लीला सबसे है न्यारी न्यारी हरि हरि। भज मन नारायण नारायण हरि हरि। जय जय नारायण नारायण हरि हरि। श्रीमन्नारायण नारायण हरि हरि। श्रीमन्नारायण नारायण हरि हरि। तेरी लीला सबसे है न्यारी न्यारी हरि हरि। तेरी लीला सबसे है न्यारी न्यारी हरि हरि। Jai Shri Krishna and Jai Siya Ram. So nice to meet you all after a long time. It has been an amazing long gap. So many things have happened in the meantime. I hope you all are safe and sound. You're enjoying your time. I had a lot to catch up to, and I'm sure you also must be getting busier. So, as you join now with me, a warm welcome to you. And please do drop in a line or two to say what you've been up to, what's been happening since we met. I think we met somewhere in the middle August. It's more than a month of break we had. I'll tell you what I've been up to as well. And we'll have a good catch up today. Today's topic, as you've seen from the banner which I have put up, is that there are a lot of problems in planning a wedding, especially now. See, there was a golden time before where we used to just say, oh, let's do a wedding. And then the hall was easily available and the Panditji was easily available. Nearly more or less everybody was easily available and you would conduct a wedding. Now it's not that easy. Even a year or two ago, you had to plan a lot to get your wedding sorted. But now, everything's up in the air. So we are going to discuss that today. As we go ahead, I'd like to start by welcoming my dear Bhai, પ્રદીપભાઈ પટેલ who has joined in. સાથે સાથે લેસ્ટર લોહાણા મહાજન જોડાયા છે. A warm welcome to you as always. અને પિયુષભાઈ કહે છે જય સિયારામ હેમાંગભાઈ, આપને પણ મારા જાજા કરીને જય શ્રી કૃષ્ણ અને જય સિયારામ મારા ભાઈ. I hope you are having a wonderful day. Let's start with a small prayer as we always do. So let's join our hands, close our eyes, and welcome the divinity in our hearts and minds. रसानां छन्दसामपि मङ्गलानां च कर्तारौ वन्दे वाणी विनायकौ भवानी शङ्करौ वन्दे श्रद्धा विश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धः स्वान्तः स्थमीश्वरम् वन्दे बोधमयं नित्यं गुरुं शङ्कररूपिणम् यमाश्रितो हि वक्रोऽपि चन्द्रः सर्वत्र वन्द्यते सीतारामगुणग्राम पुण्यारण्यविहारिणो वन्दे विशुद्धविज्ञानो कवीश्वर कपीश्वरो बोलिए सियावर रामचंद्र भगवान की जय. A warm welcome. So, as I said, a warm welcome to you. I had a lovely time, a great break to catch up with a lot of unfinished tasks. And believe me, there are lots more left. But I had enough of them. I was missing you and the whole satsang. So I thought, let's get back again as we had promised towards the end of September. So here we are towards the end of September 28th, the Monday, the beautiful day. We are having a good time here. But there is a problem happening across the wedding business. See, if I had a catering business, if I had a catering business only, I would have made, business by making deliveries. So I would have said, okay, I cannot go to the weddings, I cannot provide food. Maybe I can do tiffins, I can do takeaways. If I had a restaurant, I would do the same. Most of the businesses are getting into this problem. And that's why this beautiful photo that I put together. Have a look. To get together for the wedding is very hard. And now, as you know, in England, Boris Johnson has said only 15 people allowed. And that is including everybody. So now think for a moment. I'm giving you the scope of the problem we have just now. Bride and groom, they are part of the wedding. They have to be there. Then Panditji, without Panditji, there is no wedding. There you go. Then you have to have both the parents, mummy, daddy. Okay? At least one photographer, isn't it? One photographer. You will have that. So that's 6 and 1, 7 and 8 people. So now what you're left? 5 and 6, 7 people left. You have got only choice of getting 7 other people which gives you 3.5 from this side, 3.5 from this side. And as you know, humans can't do that. So you have to have either 3 and 4 from either side. How can you do a wedding like that? Traditional Hindu weddings have hundreds of people. So what I'm asking you now is go ahead and join your thumbs together and tell me how many guests were there at your wedding. Go on, put in a small message so I know how many weddings have you seen, or maybe you know one of the best weddings you had enjoyed. How many guests were there? Put in a small message so I can see. Okay, so we Asians, especially Indian people, we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of weddings, guests in the weddings. Now you suddenly take them out and ask to do this with 15 people. It's not possible. It's not practical. What about the decorating people? What about the caterers? Even with a small birthday, you would have 15-20 people minimum. That's the kids and children. And our families are big. Our friends' network is big. Where do you get from there? It's a huge problem. And so, nearly every day I'm getting phone calls from brides. Most of them are very upset and worried what to do about it. What shall we do? What shall we do? Some of them had wedding in June, July and August. They thought it will be trouble in March. So what did they do? They cancelled the wedding in June, July, August, and they rescheduled it somewhere towards the end of this year. So saying September, October. And now Boris is saying 6 more months maybe. And that's crazy. It's impossible for us to handle that. It's nigh impossible. And I know there is a lot of support given by a lot of people. A lot of people are working very hard. And Corona itself is a very touchy subject now. People are getting up in arms. If you look at Germany, America, even England, most of the countries are having huge protests. People are angry about these lockdowns. I can understand where the politicians are coming from, and I can also understand where they're coming from. But the problem is still there. What do you do? What do you do? Especially with the weddings. So my suggestion and advice has been to the brides in many ways, but one of the best advice I have given them is that why don't you go for a weekday somewhere in next summer? Minding well, weekday. Because what happened was this year we already had bookings for the next year weddings. So brides would have already called and discussed and planned and booked the wedding with us. But now this year's brides are also trying to move to next year. And if this year's brides again only want Saturday and Sunday or Friday and Saturday, it's not going to work because there's not enough slots available in the venues, in the groups of service providers. And so I have said to the brides and the grooms that they should now start looking at the weekdays. અને જૂના જમાનામાં એવું જ થતું. મારા રિલેટિવ્સમાં ઘણા વેડિંગ્સ ગુરુવાર ને બુધવારે થયા છે. Lot of my relatives are married on Wednesdays, Thursdays and Fridays by that token. So there's nothing wrong in it. We should have weddings on weekdays now, next year. But we should have it with our family and friends because our dharma, and I'm just saying if possible, because our dharma has said that wedding is more of a social occasion where you welcome both the sides of the family, intermingle and socialize with each other, get to know each other. That's very important. See, the couple have already committed to each other. So whether they do the religious wedding or not, they might even do registry and they can call it a day. We can understand that they are committed to each other. But the commitment of couple alone in our dharma is not enough. And we are going to go into that in discussion in our other discussions. Why is it more important to have a religious ceremony like a Hindu wedding ceremony? There are lots of reasons for it, and we will cover them. But for now, I say for today that we should have a Hindu wedding where your families of both the sides come and they learn to mingle and socialize with each other. Today's situation we are seeing, recently I heard in one of the countries, you might have heard it through the multimedia as well, there is a lot of mental health problem going around. A lot of people, especially men, are doing suicide. They are committing suicide. Why? You have to look at that. Sometimes suicide rate is more than the death rate of corona. Have a look by yourself. I am asking you to check the facts. Sometimes more people are dying due to suicides than corona. And therefore, this is not a good situation. We need to involve our family and friends. And sometimes when our family and friends are reluctant to mingle with each other, it is our duty to say that you should mingle. And that's why as we do the beautiful Satyanarayana Bhagwani Katha, some of you might have had the Katha done at your home, Satyanarayana Bhagwani Katha. And over there, we sing nice prayers. Let's sing one of them over there. Harihi Om Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabham Suresham Vishwadharam Gaganasadrisham Meghavarnam Shubhangam Lakshmikantam Kamalanayanam Yogibhirdhyanagamyam Vande Vishnum Bhavabhayaharam Sarvalokaikanaatham Shri Vishnave Namaha Shri Vishnave Namaha Shri Vishnave Namaha. Bolo Shri Satyanarayana Bhagavan Ki Jai. And so, in that Satyanarayana Katha, our gurus and saints teach us that we should not only do Katha for puja, but we should do Katha in such a way that we invite our family and friends to the Katha. Don't do it by yourself. Invite everybody and share the prasad. And therefore, in our ancient times, we used to sit around the fireplace, and we used to have hot food together, socialize, chit-chat, and have fun together. Even today, it is proven by scientists across the world that the societies where people socialize with each other, grow their own fruit and vegetables, basically have some gardening time, have animals as pets, dogs, cats, cows, so on, they live longer. They live longer than normal people who live in the cities. Because city people are not connected to Mother Nature. They are separate. They live in a very artificial life. 90% of their life is based on screens. Whether you go into the bathroom or you go to the toilet, you go to the kitchen, you go to the dining room, even in the restaurant if you go, if there are 4 people sitting on the table, at least 3 of them will be holding a phone in their hand during dinner in the restaurant. So when they are together, they are still not really together, are they? It's a big problem. You see little children. They cannot eat without having a television screen in front of them. And that's why our gurus and saints said, You should invite your guests and family to your wedding. Now, how can you do that when government says only 15 people allowed? And so, to plan, there are lots of other ways to look at it. Maybe wait out a little bit if you can and do late this year or early next year. But the safest bet looks like next summer in the weekdays. So, what should a bride and groom do now? Practical steps I'm giving you now, because I specialize personally in Hindu weddings. That's the core, that's the main job that I do. Why do I do that? I'll come to that in a second, but I'll give you the steps first. The steps, concrete steps, is look at the dates which are good enough for you both as bride and groom and your family in next summertime, and take the weekdays out of them, not weekends. So avoid the Fridays, avoid the Saturdays, even avoid Sundays if you can. And this is the reason I'm giving you is, if you look at it this way, you'll have lots of yeses. So if you go to a photographer and say, can you do this wedding next August so and so date on a Wednesday? He will say most of the time, yes, I will. Same with me. But if you ask me that, can you do wedding for me on August bank holiday, August Friday, 99% time, I'll be able to, I'll have to say, no, I can't do that. Already booked up. So if you only go for Fridays and Saturdays, you'll get no, 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 no from most of the people. But the moment you turn around and say, I'll go for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, let's say till Thursday, you'll get most of them yes, 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 yes. That way what happens is you can plan happily in the month, in the term, in the summer season that you want. Now, some people say, what if we are working, doing jobs, we have our businesses? Well, anybody, any job, even if you're a doctor, engineer, or lawyer, if you can give somebody 6 months heads up saying after 6 months, next, on that particular Monday, we are doing a wedding, please come to a wedding, they can take a day off. They can always arrange a locum for doctors. 6 months in advance, you can do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday without worries. So, we need to rethink our thinking and change it around so that our wedding planning problems and the stresses of the brides gets reduced and we get our dream wedding that we had planned for. So, in the meanwhile, if you have any questions, put your questions in the comments regarding the weddings, and I'll come around and look at it in a moment. Before I go towards that, I'm going to explain in a little way, share my ideas. Why do I choose to be a wedding priest? See, there are a lot of ceremonies that we do. And I can do katha, I can do havan, I can do lots of other ceremonies. Of course, it's part and parcel of being a priest. But sometimes you get affinity to something. It's like when you eat lots of varieties of food, you get affinity to one of the foods a little more. Saying, I like pasta more. Somebody will say, I like, bhaji pav more. You see, everybody has a choice. I have a choice of conducting weddings. The reason I say it is, it gives me emotional and spiritual high. I get very happy and satisfied when I conduct a wedding. Why? Because I'm proud to see two people coming together and saying, I do. Committing to each other is a very, very, very hard job. And they are doing that. That's amazing. Well done to them. Because most of the people cannot commit. They hang in the limbo. What do? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe later. Maybe. And life is not about that. You have to make a choice. It's like when you're driving in a car, if you're wanting to change the lane, you cannot be in the middle of the lane saying, maybe I'll go to that lane, maybe I'll not go, maybe I'll go there, maybe I'll not go there. It's not good for you and not good for others. Make up your mind. That's more important. Either stay here or go there. And the moment people are told this, they turn around and ask me, "But Hemang Bhai, what if we get bitten? What if we get stung? What do I do?" Well, you will get stung. Marriage, and I have to say, and there's no sugarcoating it, marriage is a challenge. Marriage is a challenge. In a way, marriage is also sacrifice. Now, let me explain why marriage is a challenge. Because you are saying, I am different, you are different, but we are going to try to work this out together. How can you do that? She likes different food, you like different food. She likes different clothing, you like different clothing. She likes different kinds of films, different genre, you like different genre. You like different music, she likes different music. Still, after all that differences, you say you'll try to work together. And that is a challenge. That is a tough challenge, and very few people now are ready to take the plunge into it. Now, I said the second word, that marriage is not only a challenge, but it is a sacrifice. And it's not really a sacrifice in that way, but it is a sacrifice in another way. So let me explain a bit further. The moment you say yes to one person, so suppose I say yes to one lady who I want to marry. Can you please marry me? And she says, yes, I do. They both have committed a sacrifice. I have, and my wife, they both have committed a sacrifice. How is it a sacrifice? I will now have no chance, that is if I behave correctly, okay? I will have no chance of giving option to ask another lady now in future to say, will you marry me? That is my sacrifice. So if there is a better woman who is coming after her, and I say, ooh, yikes, I'm too late, I should have waited, I would have got a better choice. No. I've got no more choice now. It's a sacrifice. And she has done exactly the same sacrifice. She would have got a better person after me if she wouldn't have said yes. Suppose if she would have said, maybe I'll consider, and then waited it out, she might have got a better person down the line. Again, a sacrifice from her. Now that we have sacrificed, we are saying we will stay together and will behave in a good way. We'll not be naughty, we won't be promiscuous, we'll be, faithful to each other. And therefore, it is a sacrifice, it is a challenge, and this is only for the strong-hearted people to do marriage. That's why I say. So Lagna is a very tough job. I would say marriage is the toughest at par with having children, because raising children is not an easy job. Very, very hard. Very few people succeed completely. Most of us don't. Do you know why? Because the people who get married didn't get a degree from a university saying this is how you act with your partner. Nowhere they did a diploma, even 1 year diploma they didn't do, or B.Tech course in 1 year course to say this is how you deal with your wife, this is how you deal with your husband, this is how you deal with your in-laws. Nobody taught you that. You were thrown into the water when you didn't knew how to swim. That's the situation. Therefore, it's a challenge. And so, as we see, wedding is full of challenges, but it is very important that you do. And when I see the couple taking that strong commitment, I love that. And that's why I choose to be, I choose is the word, to be a wedding priest most of the time. Having said that, I enjoy conducting the Satyanarayana Katha, the Havans, the other pujas. I especially enjoy doing the Sri Ram Bhagwanni Katha, and that is my favorite as well. But for bread and butter to run my house, that is the one job I've really, really loved it. And you all have been so loving and caring and giving me so many invites to your weddings where I can come and perform wedding for you and your family and friends. That way I get to live my dream and do a wonderful ceremony for yourselves. So, as we go ahead, I'd like to welcome my dear brother who I've met after a long time, Piyush Bhai Kotecha. Jai Siaram Mara Bhai. So nice to see you after a long while we meet here. And my dear brother HemangBhai Tejura. HemangBhai, તમે તો મુંબઈમાં છો ને, મુંબઈમાં તો ધમાલ ચાલી રહી છે અત્યારે. અમે તમને ફોલો કરીએ છીએ મુંબઈને. Oh my goodness, it's so much happening over there, especially in the Bollywood. It's full on dhamal, isn't it? So you must be getting too much of all that in news as well. I hope it settles down and people come to their senses. I hope you are all having good time with the family there, Mara Bhai. Chanda Ben Vyas જોડાયા છે મારા બેન. So nice to see you, Mara Ben. She's saying Jai Shri Krishna. Urvi Ben Kevda ke che Jai Shri Krishna Guruji. I'm so excited for today's satsang. So lovely to see you after so long. Indeed, Urvi Bena, I'm missing you all so much. Believe me. પણ એટલું બધું કામ હતું ભૂલો. અને એક વસ્તુ મેં જોયું છે, કામ કદી પૂરું થતું જ નથી. No matter how much you try to finish the work, there's still work left for you to do. I've got too much work left as well. But hey, I said, whatever it is, I'm going to now continue my satsang and do the calm. So good to see you, my sister here. Meena Ben Dattani જોડાયા છે, સરલા બેન સચદેવ. So nice to see you, સરલા બેન. અને તમે કહો છો જય શ્રી કૃષ્ણ. રેખા બેન ઠાકર કહે છે જય શ્રી કૃષ્ણ. Nice to see you, રેખા બેન. રાજભાઈ ભટ્ટ જોડાયા છે લંડનથી. So nice to see you, રાજભાઈ. વચ્ચે તમારી સરસ મજાની શેર્સ ને મ્યુઝિક ને સોંગ્સ ને મજા આવી હતી. We had a lovely time. Thank you for that. શ્રી ચૈતન્યભાઈ વ્યાસ મહારાજ જોડાયા છે. આપના ચરણોમાં મારા વંદન મારા ભાઈ. So good to see you. Wonderful to see you. Reshma Ben Davda જોડાયા છે. So nice to see you. And Dinesh Bhai Thakrar. Wonderful to see you, Mara Bhai. Lovely to see you here. Nita Ben Suchak સૌને જય શ્રી કૃષ્ણ પાઠવે છે. Thank you very much, મારા dear બેન નીતા બેન. અને આજના આ ડિસ્કશનમાં જો તમને કોઈ પ્રશ્નો આવ્યા હોય તો મને તમે વોટ્સએપમાં નાખી દેજો. તમારા જોડે મારો વોટ્સએપ નંબર હશે જ. મારા ફેસબુક ઉપર છે, તમારે લખવો હોય તો લખી લેજો. અહીંયા હું કોમેન્ટમાં નાખી દઉં છું. સો તમે કશે you can save it. So my WhatsApp number is 07765650 and I've put it on the comments. So if you look at the comments down on the page on this post, you will find my mobile number. So you can take that number, send me WhatsApp message with your questions and queries, and I'll try to answer them back to you. So I hope you enjoyed today's discussion and satsang. It was about understanding marriages, how to do and conduct and plan and organize a wedding in these difficult times. And we touched in a little way the importance of marriage. Mahatva Sucheno. We will see more in future different discussions as well. So we are going to meet tomorrow now again, the same time, 6 to 6:30. Till then, have a lovely time. God bless you. Enjoy. Jai Shri Krishna and Jai Siya Ram.
भजमन नारायण नारायण हरि